Hey, what's up? This is Jacob with UFC GYM Whitestown. We're doing the 28-day shred, and today we are doing the HIIT portion. It's going to be 15 minutes of high intensity, 15 minutes of kind of steady state in between those high intensity 1 minute on, 1 minute off workout. 30 minutes total. I'm going to go back over my video and do my coaching. So you'll hear cues over the video. Feel free to play some music at home. What I say is important if you feel lost and like you don't know how to do the movement. But if you want to play some music on your own, we're not doing music in the videos because our videos have been getting taken down for unlicensed music. So play some music, listen for the cues, 30-minute workout. This is my house. Here we go. So I'm going to pop in and coach like this. Some of the cues were tough to give while I was moving. Make sure that you get good range on your shoulders and that you are on the balls of your feet, not setting the heels down, especially outside. So when you do a jumping jack, a lot of people still set their heels down on the outside of the movement. Try not to do that. And if jumping jacks are too much for you, don't be afraid to step out instead. So stand in place, step out, form the jack shape, and then step back together. Or just do a few in a row, take a short break, do a few. Home stretch, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, jog in place. Shake your shoulders out. Make sure you're feeling good. One minute of jogging in place. I kind of like to pump my calves. I think a little bit more about staying loose, staying light than I do about jogging. You know, it's just moving, right? It's just moving. Keep it relaxed. You're just staying on your toes, staying on your feet. If you're not feeling challenged, you can shadow box a little bit. You can fill this time up with something that interests you, you know, so. But for me, I think I'm just gonna kind of bounce. Stay light, stay loose. 10 seconds. High knees, here we go. Again, staying on the balls of your feet. The height of your knee determines the intensity. So if you're bringing them up to parallel, it'll be pretty tough. A lot of people just kind of think of this as a high jogging in place. Just trying to get your knee up to about your belt line for 1 minute, 20 seconds in. You can also just raise the knee high, set it down. So if it's a little too much cardio, you can get a break by just lifting the knee high, setting it back down. We're halfway there. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Back to jogging in place. Nice job. I'm keeping my template up on my iPad and it keeps shutting down. All right, next is butt kickers. If you guys are breathing hard, don't be afraid to stop and take a deep breath. I prefer that people stop and take some belly breaths if their heart rate gets a little too high. Again, make this workout enjoyable, but push yourself. You know where you want to be, so find that place. Jogging in place. Again, just making sure I'm feeling good. A lot of times those high knees will make your back tight. Feel free to do some good mornings here. Nice and slow for the next 20 seconds if you're having any tightness in the back of the hips. Those good mornings should get you feeling loose again. On to butt kickers in 5 seconds. Here we go. Butt kickers looking for the heels to come back to the butt. You can tag them. You can tag them. Or you can just let them go wherever they're going to be. I'm thinking about bringing the heel to the butt. Pulling my hamstring in. Flexing my hamstring and elongating the front of my leg. So keeping that kneecap pointed at the ground to the best of my ability. And if you're feeling any pain in the knee, don't bounce. Just raise the heel to the butt.
Past the halfway mark.
Bring their heel that close to their butt, or they feel a knee pain from knee compression. You can also just replace this with high knees or a butt kicker that is to the height that you can tolerate it.
Jogging in place. Moving on to punches with this next one. We'll do a little shadow boxing for a minute. Jogging in place. Turn your hips side to side, get loose. Feel light, feel free, make it playful. I don't want you to take your workout too seriously, especially from home. You know, with cardio, with free-form movement, you want to find ways to make it enjoyable. And for me, that's lowering the rigidity. 20 seconds. Three, two, one for punches. Let your torso rotate. Press off your back foot. Turn your body. You don't want to snap your hand real hard. You want to make sure that you're just kind of about 80% of the way and not fully locking that arm out every time. Letting my torso do a lot of the work here when I'm shadow boxing. If you've taken some boxing classes, you can mix up some movements and feel free to throw some different things, whatever you want to do. Or you can just stay in place and turn your body and let those hands snap. 18 seconds. Seven seconds. And jogging in place. Man. Next up is tuck jumps, followed by squats. Tuck jumps are going to be one of those ones that we probably modify. If you're not a big jumper, I'll do a couple different versions of that tuck jump to help you out, okay? 30 seconds in, 30 seconds left on the jog. Same goes for the next few. Squats and lunges, pretty easy. Uppercuts later on. Again, you can do just uppercuts or another kind of shadow boxing round to make it interesting if you've done boxing. So if you haven't, just keep it simple. Plank jacks and then burpees. Those burpees will probably be one that we modify. I'm pretty picky about my plank jacks. All right, tuck jumps, here we go. We're going to jump up, tag our hands, and drop back down. Make sure you land with soft knees.
When I say land with soft knees, I mean that your feet hit the ground and your knees bend on the landing. So you'll notice I'm kind of doing a pop at the bottom or a little jump. I want to stay springy here. Landing with stiff, straight legs can be dangerous.
20 seconds in. Nice job, guys.
This is a pretty challenging round. If you can't get your knees that high, don't force yourself to hit the same height every time. Focus more on quality of movement than intensity.
20 seconds to go. If you need to modify, I'll actually go back and I'll coach and make sure that I leave some modifications. Sorry, guys. And jogging in place. 1 minute. Tuck jumps will get anybody. Calves are sore. I'm going to do a lot of running on these back roads. Staying away from everybody. 30 seconds. Squats are coming up next.
I don't go over this, but if you need to, use a chair or couch to do your squats on. Sit down and stand back up.
Knees are pointed towards the middle toe or the pinky toe, somewhere in there. Shouldn't see the knees coming inside the hip or inside the shoe line. A lot of people are pretty comfortable with that power lifter squat where the chest comes forward and the hips kind of hit 90 and stop. And that's great. I like to get some depth on my squat. That's up to you. Just do what feels right there. So it might be kind of that quarter squat position. It might be sinking down. I want to make sure that my chest and back stay upright and sort of drop in a plumb line from where I start standing to my bottom position. Pushing the hands out in front of people helps. So if I can kind of create that swing, that tends to help the stretch reflex. I'm a little bit duck-footed, so you'll notice that my knees really come out wide and I sink down into the squat, sort of like a yogi squat position. 4 seconds. And jog it in place. We've got 4 more lunges coming up next in 40 seconds. Making sure the heel is planted. Trying to keep that shin looking upright, making a 90-degree angle with my front leg. I like a reverse lunge, and that's probably the one I'll do, especially inside. I'm not wearing shoes on my carpet, so I'll need to do a reverse lunge, and that will help me keep myself in good form while I'm working out in the living room. All right, 10 seconds. Get ready. Again, I'll tilt the camera down so you can see my feet because that's the most important part. So I'm thinking about lunging backwards, setting the D down softly. Let's hit 55 seconds. Just finding a rhythm that works for me. You'll see that my knee is maybe over my midfoot. That's acceptable. It's just a little more quad dominant. The wider the lunge, the more hip and butt dominant it's going to be. Figure out what works for you. In jiu-jitsu, we need a lot of really tight lunging positions. So I get used to doing those tighter, closer lunges where the back knee is nearer the front knee. 10 seconds. If you're in socks, you can slide back and get a little stretch at the bottom. A lot of people like a deeper lunge for mobility. Moving back to jogging in place. And jogging in place. Next one is uppercuts. Here we go. Had some technical difficulties in there. All right, moving on to uppercuts in 45 seconds. 3 more rounds of HIIT, followed by our strength program. You'll see 5 rounds of strength at 15 reps apiece coming up. I don't have any weights except kettlebells, so I'm going to be using at least the 35. We'll see how it goes. "25 seconds. "13 seconds. Start thinking about your boxing. Again, shadow box if you've been to a boxing class. If not, just hang in there with uppercuts with me. So I think a lot about, when you're shadow boxing uppercuts, you can think about making a pizza and you're just following it with your shoulder. You can use your whole body, or you can kind of turn your shoulders and do rapid uppercuts. Either way, 45 seconds. "30 seconds. Here we go. Home stretch, final 10 seconds. And jogging in place, 1 minute. Nice job, everybody. Moving on to plank jacks. I'm going to tilt the camera. Another floor move. I prefer we do these on our hands. We're going to keep locked arms. We're going to grip the ground with our fingertips. I want your lower back not to move. So the goal of the plank jack is consistent stabilization. So a lot of people do them and they pop their feet out and their butt dips and then rises back up. We're going to try to reduce that as much as we're able, keeping a steady back, a steady posture, and holding it, keeping your lower back just like a gymnastic style push-up. So tailbone to upper back, kind of one straight, slightly rounded, core engaged line. 15 seconds. Let's change the angle of the camera a little bit so you guys can see some plank jacks. 5 seconds, here we go. 3, 2, 1. So I should have arms locked, and I shouldn't be dipping and then kind of picking my body back up. I want to stay stiff, stay engaged, and move those feet. Lean your weight out over your hands, flex your core. Get your timer so you know how long you've been doing this. 35 seconds to go. Should be a core workout. You should have to stiffen that core the whole time as you move those feet side to side.
If you're experiencing any wrist pain, try a yoga block. Make sure you keep your
15
hands
seconds.
and fingers engaged, grabbing the ground.
Nice job, everybody. Let's get back to jogging in place. 1 minute. 1 minute of jogging in place. Finish this up with some burpees. Move on to the strength section of our workout. I'm gonna move this pillow. That's in the way. All right. My living room is a little crammed. I actually have more room upstairs. But I wanted to do this in a place where you feel like no excuses, right? Like small quarters, your kids' stuff is everywhere. Things don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have perfect conditions to work out at home. Eight seconds, here we go. Burpees, grip the ground, drop to the floor, touch, come back up, leap. I like to make sure my feet are under me so the foot is completely planted.
If you can beat my pace, go ahead and do it. I am trying to coach while I'm hitting those burpees. And looking at this, you can see that I have some mild kyphosis. The shoulders are dipping forward more than I like at the bottom. Make sure to pull those
Halfway
shoulders
there,
back
25
and down in the
seconds.
press. Keep your chest wide open throughout that push-up.
15 seconds. Finish strong. Nice job, everybody. All right, we're gonna move on to the strength portion of the workout. I'm gonna get some weights. I think most of it's body weight. Let me double check. Upper body strength starting with push-ups. So we're gonna do 15 reps together. Here we go. Even just got done with those burpees. That'll be fun. If you have to do them from your knees, that's fine. Just make sure to get that rep full range. Watch dipping the shoulder. So you want to make sure the shoulders stay back and together throughout the whole movement. If you need to take your time, pause the video, that's fine. Moving on to bicep curls times 15. Now, I only have kettlebells. I might have to do this with kettlebells. Couldn't find a good weight to do this at, so I'm just going to use some gallon jugs. I like to think of the forearm covering the bicep. Squeeze the top, squeeze. I was not feeling ready to use the 35-pounder on these bicep curls. You'll have to forgive me. Control that rep on the way down to a dead stop. After you get your 15 reps, you can start the video back up. Or if you're keeping pace with me, just let it roll. Moving on to the shoulder press. I think I'll use the 35 for this one. So I'm going to do this from seated position. A lot of people do the shoulder press standing. Keep in mind it's more difficult from the seated position. If you want to use a gallon or another weight you have at your house, that's great.
On this one, we want to make sure that the shoulder blade is pulled in and down, the core is engaged, and the weight takes a straight path to the ceiling. You'll notice that I'm not locking my elbow out entirely. That's because of some elbow injuries that I've had in the past. Locking the arm out is great, especially if you're using a proper weight.
I think it's 15. I think I'm going to have to switch to the gallon on those last 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 15 on the other side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. And then our gallon without my wedding ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Moving on to chair dips. I'm going to rotate this so you guys can see my futon. Placing the hands behind my back. Hoping that this futon doesn't tip. Shouldn't feel too much of a stretch in the shoulder. You might be going too low. Make sure to maintain a posture position. Focus on pumping that tricep. And then finally, bent over row. I'll use a kettlebell for this one as well. I'm going to make sure that I maintain one of two stances. I can take a chair and post that. That's probably how we'll do it. I'm going to post that chair, create a split lunge kind of position, 1 foot in front, 1 foot in back. Hinge my hips over, take the weight to my belt line. 1.
I've said it a couple times, but make sure that you pause the video, catch up, do the reps at your own pace. Don't be afraid to pause and stop and take a look at the form. This is one where I have most people use a mirror so that they can look at their posture. You should have a straight line from the back of your neck to your tailbone when you're doing a bent over row.
Stance,
a lot of people like to round their
take
back.
the
Make sure
line,
the
not
shoulder
the
blades are
armpit.
pulled together, chest is puffed out, thinking of zipping up the belly by pulling the abs in and flexing for a flat lower back leading to your tailbone.
10. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's our upper body strength workout. Where is it? There we go. Hey guys, thank you so much. That's the upper body strength and HIIT workout. This is Thursday. You probably plug this workout later on in the calendar, so I guess it'll be Thursday the first time you do it. That's a pretty hard workout. It was a lot of fun. So make sure that you share this workout with a friend. So if you got somebody else who's looking for workouts from home, if you enjoyed it, you can email it over to them, send them a link, give them access to the quarantine shred. I think you guys will have fun with it. If you have any questions or any comments about the exercises, anything that you feel like could make your workout experience better, make sure to contact us, and we'll get back to you, and you'll get to talk to a coach about your workout experience and how we can improve it in the future. Thanks, guys. See you later.